Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. For those of you that haven't been here before, my name's Janice and I'm a Thermomix consultant. So we're up to, I can't believe we're up to number 4 of the aprons that I purchased while I was overseas. So this week, once again, we've got this video, we've got the Thermomix magazine, the winter edition, which is the batch cooking one. So first person in the description box below, in the comment section, to correctly guess what country I was in, when I purchased this apron, wins the magazine. Rightio. Today we are making a Black Forest cake. So while I was in, I think it was Germany, we went to a place that was famous for Swiss clocks and Black Forest cake. It was in the Black Forest region, it was. So today we're going to have a go at Black Forest cake. Now, they gave us a postcard with the recipe on it, and I was going to make that one, but I've decided I'm going to make the one out of the Thermomix cookbook, out of Cookie Doo. Just because I think it'll be easier, and then we can decide whether or not that recipe is as good as the one I had in Germany. Rightio. I'm going to put this magazine down and then we'll start. So what I've done is I have saved my recipe into my week. So, I mean, I'm going to tell everyone how to get to my week, and I do it nearly every video, mainly because this may be your first time watching a Thermomix cooking video, and it might be something great to learn. So up in the top left hand corner is 3 little lines, and it'll take us to a menu. Second from the top is my week. Now I have sat in the lounge chair, my feet up on I've actually sat in a recliner with my feet up and went through my Cookie Doo app, and I've bookmarked, I've added to my week, I've done all sorts of things. I've added to collections, all sorts of things from the app on my iPad and my iPhone. I use my the app on my iPhone and my iPad all the time to work out what I want to cook. And you can also you can add the recipes to your shopping list, and you go to your shopping list on the app and you can select what you've already got, and then when you go to the supermarket, you can see what you need. The other thing I love is when I go to the supermarket and I think, oh, I'm making Black Forest cake today, what do I need? And I can go to the recipe and I can have a flick through and see anything that I know I don't have. Rightio. So we're going to start cooking. So we've got the Black Forest cake, and start cooking. So it says to place a large ceramic or glass bowl onto the mixing. So what I'm going to do straight up is I'm going to strain. It says to use fresh cherries. Now, or frozen cherries it says to use. Now I don't have fresh or frozen. I've got a bottle of these pitted morello cherries. And I'm going to drain them because I'm going to save the juice, and I'll make a syrup with it later. There is a recipe, I think it's on the Black Forest cheesecake, where you use the juice to make a syrup. So what I'm going to do now is we've got and I'm pretty sure we've got to halve these cherries. Yeah, 300 grams of frozen pitted cherries cut in half. So that is right, we're going to cut them in half. I won't make you watch me cutting all these cherries in half. Now I'm going to use the whole bottle. I know it says 300 grams. These cherries are usually a bit firmer than this. They're quite squishy. Rightio, so that was actually 324 grams of cherries was in that bottle. And I think it's a 600 gram, it's a 680 gram bottle, so I got 324 grams of cherries. Rightio, so I did get interrupted then, so next. It says to remove 12 cherry halves and set aside for decorating the cake. So we'll get 12 nice ones. These aren't the nicest ones of these cherries. These are quite brown. They're usually quite a nice red. So anyway, and then we're going to weigh in, it says 80 grams of Kirsch. I don't know how to pronounce it. Now, I've got cherry brandy. I tried to buy Kirsch, which is a clear cherry liqueur, but this is cherry brandy. It's a little bit sweeter and it's not clear. So we're going to weigh in 80 grams. Okay. And then I think we leave it to set aside to macerate at room temperature for 2 hours. So that is what I'm going to do. That smells yummy. Rightio. I'll be back in 2 hours and we'll continue on. Okay. Right, so we've had that soak for 2 hours and now we're going to drain it. So you just pop the in there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's read this. Okay, yeah, so then we're going to place these in here and leave that to drain. Right, let's put this over here. And then we're going to set it aside. So I actually needed, so you can, like, this is the spatula that comes with your Thermomix, and it's got that little hook on the back, and that actually hooks into there's a hole here at the back of the Thermomix of the basket, and that hooks into that. Rightio. I might put it back in this bowl. Okay. So that's the juice out of those cherries, and I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to make a cherry sauce out of that later. Okay. So that's that brandy. It says a tablespoon of sugar, $50 grams of water, and while I'm doing it, I'm going to get a spoon. I think it's got vanilla paste, so teaspoon of vanilla paste. Let's just get a little bit more. Okay. Put that out the way. And then we're going to put the lid on with no measuring cup. And we're going to cook it for 23 minutes, 100 degrees, speed 1. Rightio, and we're cooking until a thick syrup consistency is achieved, and you can prolong by up to 2 minutes if necessary. So rightio, I'm going to leave that to cook, and I'll be back. Rightio, so that should have thickened up, so let's have a look. It's not real thick. I might give that... No, let's not. Now it says to add the reserved drained cherries. But what I'm going to do, it says to add them and then put them into a bowl. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the cherries in the bowl, and then we'll add the syrup into there. Here we go. And then we're going to set that aside to cool. So it says to clean and dry the mixing bowl. Okay, so that's what I'll do. Okay, so we've cleaned and dried the mixing bowl. We're going to preheat the oven to 170. Grease a spring-form cake tin, 20 centimetres, and line the bottom with baking paper. Okay, so we need 150 grams of plain flour. I've got a few little purple bits of flour yesterday because I must have purpled in my flour. I made blueberry English muffins. They are delicious. I'm going to have to see if I can work out a recipe for them to share on the recipe community. Oops. There it is. There's the culprit, the purple. Okay. 200 grams of caster sugar. ,30 grams of cocoa powder. Half a teaspoon of salt. I've got a half teaspoon measure here somewhere. That's it. Two teaspoons of baking powder. So I have made the caster sugar. I'm using the Thermomix. My baking powder I make using the Thermomix, and there are recipes on Cookie Do in the basic cookbook. I've also done a video where I made a few of the basic ingredients, and baking powder was one of them. Okay, now we're going to put the lid on, and we're going to, and this is like sifting it together. We're going to use the Thermomix to aerate it and mix it together. 5 seconds, speed 4. Rightio. And then we're going to transfer it into a bowl and set it aside. No. Beautiful. So, and that was so quick just to, that's just like sifting it together. Now we're going to add 100 grams of water. Oops, I haven't made this recipe before, so I am just I'm learning along with you. I did read through it, but yeah. So place a simmering basket instead of the measuring cup on top. 2 minutes, 100 degrees, speed 1, just to warm it up. Righty, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay. So now we want 90 grams of vegetable oil. So because I've taken the lid and the simmering basket off, that has changed the weight on the scale, so you tear it. I find that I try to tear it all the time because just taking the lid off means your scales aren't going to be right. So in there we've got water, and now we're adding oil. Three egg yolks. They've been sitting there a while. Okay. A teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. And we put the lid on. "15 seconds, speed 5. Rightio. So let's have a look at that. Now we're going to add our reserved dry ingredients. Put the lid back on. 4 seconds, speed 4. So it all comes together quickly at cake mix. Okay, so we've got to get the egg whites. Hang on. I don't know if we're whisking them with a fork or a... Okay, so we want a whisk. I'll get a whisk. It says in a small bowl, but anyway. Oh, and a teaspoon of baking powder. Where did I put my teaspoon? Oh, there it is. And we're going to whisk that together. Oh. And whisk with a fork until... I knew it said fork. Doesn't matter, we've got this now. Until foamy and baking powder has dissolved. Rightio. So that looks foamy and the baking powder is dissolved. It says to turn the speed to 3 and then we're going to slowly add it through here. So we'll have to go back and do it again. Just a little bit. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to put that into our cake tin. So I'm going to put this onto a tray before I put it in the oven, just in case it leaks. It hasn't yet, but just in case, I'm ready for it. Okay. Where is a spatula? I'll scrape that a bit more before I put that in the oven, but that's going to go in the oven at 170. So that's not real, that's only there. But hopefully it's going to rise up. And if it's not, we're going to eat it anyway. I'm going to finish it and we're going to eat it anyway. Okay, so now we've got the cake out of the oven. It's cooled. It's still a little bit warm, but it's been sitting there for 30 minutes. And what we've got to do is it says to clean and dry our mixing bowl, which we've done. And it says to slice the cake into 3 equal layers. And this is where it gets interesting. Because I think I'm already off centre. Oops, that's 1. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. I'm not very good at this. Okay, and I've still got the paper on the bottom. Actually, we should take that off, shouldn't we? Okay. Now this plate I've got's not actually, what's the word? It's not actually flat on the bottom, but that's okay. So, I don't know how to do this. Rightio. That's 3 layers. Oops. Bugger. I broke that. So, I'm just going to pop that aside, clean this mess up, and then I'll come back and we'll keep going. Righto. Sort of cleaned up. Now it says to place 60 grams of dark chocolate. So I could have got the 78% and the 82%, but I thought I'd just get this one. And we want 60 grams. I think this, what's this? Is this 100 grams? How much is this? This is 100 grams. What's that? 60 grams exactly. Well, that's good to know. Okay. Um, 10 seconds, speed 9. Okay, and then we're going to pop it in this bowl. Look at that. There is still some in there. So now we're going to pop the butterfly whisk in. So we find the high blade, and then that will lock in. Excellent. Okay, 800 grams of pouring cream. Now that is a lot. Rightio. A tablespoon of caster sugar. I think that's a tablespoon. A teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. Okay, lid on. Minute speed 4. So You'll hear it when it starts to stiffen up and you can take the lid out. If you take that lid off at the moment, it'll splash out. Still a bit, yeah. Hasn't started to go yet. So, I mean, sometimes it takes a minute, sometimes it takes heaps of time. And so we want stiff peaks. Let's have a quick look at that. I'll have to get that. Yeah. So it's still not stiff peaks. I need to get a spatula. Let's give that lid a scrape, but I washed it out and it was in the dish dryer. Not very well washed, I must say. It's okay, it's only cake batter. We're nearly there. Okay, let's have a look at that. Oops. Okay. Maybe not quite yet. But we're nearly there. I don't want to make butter. Okay. Remove the butterfly whisk. Okay. Transfer cream into a bowl and set aside. I need a bowl. Right, I have a bowl. Rightio. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and get the cake back. Okay, it says to transfer cake onto a serving bowl and sprinkle with 30 grams of the cherry brandy. So we want we'll have to weigh it a little bit at a time. Scales. That's about a nip. 33. That was a lot, but anyway, we're going to follow the recipe. Spread half the reserved cherries with syrup onto cake. Right. Get out of the fly. Lots of cherries. Okay. And then with 1/4 of the cream. Oh, look at that. That is spreading just beautifully. I was a bit worried about that. Rightio. Now, this is, oh, hang on, let's read what it says. Spreading it right to the edges of the cake, which we have. Then we've got to put half that grated chocolate on. Okay, beautiful. Okay, next layer of cake. And we've got this little bit here that fell out. Right. Then another 30 grams of the cherry brandy. Okay, so I should show you what I'm doing. I want to weigh that, so I've got across the top here, there's next to the next, there's 3 little dots. And if you drop that down, it'll say open preview, recipe detail, scales or cancel. And I've selected scales. Okay. And then once I've finished with it, I press the cross and it takes me back to the recipe. So it says, place the second layer of the cake onto the filling and sprinkle with 30 grams of the liqueur. Now because my I've sliced my cake a bit wonky. This is not going to be a flat top. We're narrower on this side than this side. Rightio. Remaining reserved cherries with the syrup. Oops. Oh, okay, we won't do it like that. I've lost a few cherries over the side. Okay. Make sure I don't stand on them. Remaining and another quarter of the reserved cream mixture. Oops. Oh, there goes another cherry. Rightio. Top the cream with the remaining grated chocolate. Oh, look at that. Oh. Gotta wash my hands now. Place the final layer of cake onto the top. And I'm going to wash my hands. Rightio. Oh, look at that. That looks good. Okay. 20 grams now of the cherry brandy. Okay. Probably should have put this layer on upside down so that liqueur would soak in a bit better. Anyway, beautiful. And then the rest of the cream. And they say to go down the sides as well. I went looking for the my little one, but I can only find the big one. It's okay. Got a bit of a mess happening here again. I'm just going to do sort of, oh look, I've made a mess. I'm just going to do like a naked cake side. I won't totally cover it in cream. Perfect. I'll get a paper towel and I'll clean that up. And then decorate the edges of the cake with the cherry halves. That's not beautiful, but let's see if we got a good side. I don't think we have. Thought I'd come back. I'm just gonna, it says to put some shaved chocolate on the top, so it's not gonna be oops. Just going to put a little mound in the middle. I'll have to mop the floor anyway because I put cherries all over it. There we go. Whoops. Rightio. I might put a bit more on there, but anyway, we'll come back when it's time to taste it, this time for real. Perfect. Okay. Rightio, we're going to give this cake a try. Oops. First slice is always a dodgy one. Okay. Let's put another slice. Okay. There we go. Okay. But I'll taste this one. Yep, that is absolutely delicious. Rightio. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, could you please give it a thumbs up, pop over to my channel and subscribe, and I really hope I'll see you next time.